is going on, everybody? I am the Mr. Archer, and we are here to talk about, well, you're here to listen to me talk about what I think of the transfer window overall. Yesterday we did a video about individual players, kind of sort of just touched on them a little bit. But, something really got to me today. I was never super hopeful or I'm such a pessimist. What's the opposite? Optimist. I wasn't very optimistic about Wilfried Zaha ever coming to Everton. We can all say, oh, just pay the money, he's a great player, yada yada, but you always have to take into consideration if we can't pay 80 million up front, obviously. Crystal Palace definitely did not want installment payments for Wilfried Zaha. If you get relegated from the Premier League, you lose bare minimum 130, or you're not guaranteed 130 million when you go down to the Championship. Crystal Palace have to do the math and decide, well, he was quite happy to sign a new deal last year. Yeah, he handed in a transfer request. Yeah, he says he's got beef with the board and all that. But, he is their player. He did sign a long-term contract. He was totally happy, totally content with what was going on there before. But, it was never going to be an easy deal to do. It was never an easy deal to get across the line in such a short amount of time. Arsenal were in for him for a while. They kept lowballing, obviously. It comes out today that we only really put in one bid, but I guess it all depends on what you consider a bid. You could have called Marcel could have called up, somebody could have called up Steve Parrish and said, hey, if we did this, what would your answer be? That's not actually an official, written out, signed, dotted, crossed, numbers, piece of paper type deal, or however, you do it. But, I think Alex Iwobi, sorry, I'm really frustrated, and I'm not frustrated about the transfer. I'm not frustrated about that. I'm frustrated at what I saw from so-called Evertonians and so-called top blues and so-called supporters that bleed blue. Oh, I bleed blue, but here I come with the negativity. Here I come with the ignorant comments. Here I come with the the season's over before it started. Oh, we're never going to push top six. Oh. That's what I'm frustrated at. At the end of the day, we brought in 7 players. We brought in a goalkeeper, a Premier League proven goalkeeper who was under the cosh so much last season that he could not help but get better. He's a great deputy for Jordan Pickford. If anything crazy happens to him, gets injured, gets red carded, whatever. We brought in a right back to give Seamus Coleman some much needed competition. Not saying that, Seamus hasn't been performing excellently, especially in the last part of last season, but for the longest time, since probably Hibbert left, who's he had to really contend with? Galloway, Holgate, Cuco Martina. Am I forgetting anybody that was been playing right back? Seamus had it pretty easy for 6 to 7 years. And if you get, and not saying that Seamus would get complacent, not saying that he didn't put 100% in, but he did have that injury. He's been a great servant, still is going to be a great servant, going to be amazing for many 2 to 3, 4 more years to come. But you have to have somebody up your backside all the time in training. When they come on as a substitute, when they have to fill in for cup games or for suspensions or, injury, you have to have somebody that they look over their shoulder and go, oh, Jibril is now here. But you look around, Seamus looks around and goes, what if I just felt like putting 75% in? What if? Not that he ever does, but what if he said, Christmas period, I'm going to save myself. I'm just going to go out there and jog around and whatever. Galloway, Mason, Cuco, I can balls it up all day today, and I forget. Sorry, John Joe Kenny was there, I know, but he's still young and he's never going to take Seamus's place. Obviously, that is probably the plan. Seeing as he's gone out on loan to Schalke, they're doing the world of good. Obviously, new culture, new language, new way of playing football, all that good stuff that goes along with playing in the Bundesliga. Just take a look at other players that have gone there and are still there. They're flourishing. They love it. It's a great thing. So yeah, John Joe, Mason, Brendan. That's about it. But now Jibril Sidibe is in, 27 years old, big, strong, pacey, does what we need. Going to be a placeholder for somebody that is obviously going to come in at a later day, or he could just boss it all season long whenever he plays. Great spatial awareness, great defending, gets down the line, whips in a ball. Takes on defenders, knows how to work with Richarlison. Maybe him and Richarlison, when Gibril plays, form a great relationship. So it's seamless when Seamus is in, when Sidibe's in, doesn't matter. It could be great. We sign him on a perma, and then we bring back John Joe Kenny. Maybe he could, there's so much, but that's a good piece of business. It's a smart piece of business. It's a necessary piece of business. His experience, he's a World Cup winner. All that good stuff. That is what we needed. That is a smart signing. We have needed smart, wise, thoughtful, long-term thinking signings. And I think that's what people are missing about a lot of what we've done this transfer window. Moving on up, Fabian Delph in the midfield. Two-time Premier League winner with Manchester City, FA Cup winner, League Cup winner, Champions League experience, played on the highest stages for both club and country. Yes, he's 29 years old, a little outside the range that we're looking for, but brings a winning mentality. Multi-talented, versatile player, center midfield, attacking, defending, left back, can play right back, versatile, can fill into many positions. Good squad player. What we needed. Depth is what we need around the Christmas period. If stuff starts going wrong with suspensions, if people just start magically, getting lots of yellow cards, everyone's walking on the edge. Delph can fill many of the positions. Andre Gomez had an outstanding season last season. Went through his rough patch just like everybody else. Sometimes he just, didn't perform. But that could be said about a lot of players that we had last season. When the team didn't play well, Andre didn't play well. We saw him, the first real thing, when he came in against Liverpool. Don't forget he was injured before, didn't have a preseason. But obviously we wanted him. Marco wanted him. Brands wanted him. Everybody wanted him. Great hugger. Great in the community, So that's the type of player that you also need. A steady Eddie, take the ball through the lines. Very stable, maybe controlled on the ball, could twist and turn out of everybody's strong. The goal against Wolves, we're going to need to see more of that, but that's another progression. That's another sign that we need to make. We bought a player on loan, a reject, a flop, an Everton signing, as some people would say, Mark Goldbridge would say. But yeah, it worked out for us. He's probably going to have an outstanding season. Idrissa Gueye goes out the door. What do we need to bring in? Somebody that's good on the defensive side of the ball, that can put in tackles, that can, maybe have a little more nous in the final third, or even the other half of the pitch. Can pick a pass, can shake off a tackle, can also break through the lines when necessary, can also break through different opportunities to get forward. So we've got Bama, however you want to say it. I think he's going to be a steady Eddie in the midfield. He's going to give us what we want, because we need options, different types of players in the midfield, right? We need a Gomez type. We need a Bamin type, which we'll also kind of call a Ghana type. Maybe he's not going to get as many tackles and interceptions, and maybe he's going to get dribbled past more, but it's going to be a learning curve. He's a young player, new to the Premier League. So people have to be patient. We're going to have to be patient with a lot of what we've done. But that's what a lot of people are lacking. And I know I shouldn't go onto Reddit. I know I shouldn't go into the cesspool that is Twitter to see what people are thinking, because it just blows my mind sometimes, is how, you and I, because I think that we're on the same level. You probably wouldn't watch if you didn't agree with what I'm saying. And it's not really my opinion, is it? We view it as a person that has a high football IQ, that just doesn't go off of pure emotion and pure, adrenaline all the time. It's, this is my club. It's my club, so I'm going to get all up and I'm going to start tearing my hair out and I'm going to start saying words like, that's criminal. Oh, that's criminal. It's criminal. It's all criminal what we did today. It's all criminal. It's not criminal what we did today. It can be disappointing. Yes, us not getting a centre back in, it can be considered to be disappointing. Yes. Did we or did we not have an option if Zuma fell through? What was the chain that was coming out from Chelsea? Did they lead us on? Did we not see it? Was there nothing lined up? We went in for Smalling and for Rojo at the last minute. That kind of smelled of desperation. But why? Because we went in for Rojo, last season, and it got quashed at 30 minutes till the deadline. Chris Smalling probably shouldn't be a starter, obviously. And you go listen to the Manchester United fans in the fan channels. They say he's a decent player to come in off the bench. They've got Lindelof, they've got Maguire. But if you want somebody to come in, if they get injured or something happens, big run of games, Chris Smalling, don't forget, he's an England international. He's decent on the ball. He's quick. He's good in the air. So if you didn't want Chris Smalling, or you didn't want Marcus Rojo, who's a little lower down in the caliber than Chris Smalling, I think those are good options. Maybe those were options for at least for on our behalf if the Zuma thing fell through. Maybe the Tomori thing looked like it could have possibly happened. But I'm not going to sit up here and say, oh, well, then we should have signed Gary Cahill, or we should have been in for Delict. Get out of here with all that. Yes, it's disappointing. So we've got Keane, we've got Mina, we've got Holgate, and I guess we've got Gibson, and if, shit really hits the fans, we're going to have Bama back there. Yes, that's not a lot of cover. Yes, it is disappointing. Yes, people can, say, we need to pull our heads out of our asses, but come on. Our season's not over because it hasn't even started. That's the other thing, right? So we're going to keep moving on. We'll keep moving on through the players. Moise Kean. Nobody seemed to have a bad thing to say about Moise Kean. Young, talented, hot prospect. Can get goals, played on the highest stage and played with great level players. Ronaldo, Dybala, played with, who else plays for Juventus? Khedira, Chan, lots of players that he's played with. Probably learned from him, trained with him every day, played with some great managers, represented his country. Apparently got a level head on his shoulders, might have a little bit of, some things in his past that, may look a little dodgy, but who doesn't? Young players with money, they like to have a good time. They might have a little bit of not an attitude problem, but like to, think they can step out of line, think they can do things because they're, a superstar. Who hasn't done that? What players, are saints? What players? So it doesn't matter. As long as he comes in and he says he's going to work hard and he's privileged to play for Everton, we've already committed ourselves to him, as we do with all players. We make them feel welcome. We make them feel loved. We give them the belief that they can perform for our club, that they, that we understand they're representing the badge, that they're representing Evertonians worldwide, and they're going to put the shirt on. They're going to do the best they possibly can. So no one's had anything bad to say about Moise Kean except for, if United and City and Real Madrid and Ajax and Munich weren't in for him, what does that say about him? He's just a reject. You can't get in a team with Ronaldo, Higuain, Dybala. Who else do they have playing? Those are world-class players. Those are seasoned, excellent players. So, if he's dropped down the pecking order, look at his age. That's to be expected. I think that's another great piece of business. And there's no buyback clause. We're all worried about the buyback clause. Oh, this is going to be terrible for Everton. This is a shitty deal. We're going to bring him in for 1 or 2 years and we're going to develop and he's going to start scoring and his price is going to skyrocket and then he's just going to leave just like Lukaku did and Brand's going to look like an idiot. And it got sorted. Okay? And people went off the handle about that. And then, we don't get a centre back in. And we don't get Zaha in today because I've already explained that at the start of the video. And then we get Alex Iwobi in for 28 million, moving up to 35 million with add-ons and other things. And then people start slagging off Alex Iwobi. I think Alex Iwobi is a class player. Don't forget, he's 23 years old, okay? He's also played on the highest level. He's played in the Premier League. He's played in the Champions League. He's played in the Europa League. He's played and represented his country. And he's 23 years old. 4 years younger than Zaha. Got better stats at this stage in his career than Zaha had in his age at this stage in his career. You look at his certain stats that people were putting up on Twitter today. The balls into the box, dribbling, all that stuff, goals to assists based on minutes. I think he's a really good player. And I think that Marco Silva and Boa Morte and the coaching staff are going to bring him on even more. Okay? And then we get into, Alex Iwobi's coming. What does that mean for Bernard? And what does this mean for this player? And it goes back to the football IQ again. I'm sorry, most of the people I'm talking to right now, if you're watching, if you're one of the 25 people that views this on a daily basis, at most, I'm talking to you, Nadico. I'm talking to you, Jeff. I'm talking to other people out there that are loyal. Listen, do you understand this, right? How this works? If you watch football on a regular basis, doesn't matter if you just watch Premier League, if you just watch Everton, either way, you can see that you can't just have 11 players that are your team all the time. Look what happened to us last season. Look what happened to us the seasons before. You can't keep it up. You need to be able to take 2 or 3 players out when they need resting, when they're not performing, when you're playing different teams. Sometimes you can be playing a team at the bottom of the league, and they're going to sit back. They know they're just going to do damage limitation, so they're going to two double banks of 4, 2 forwards that are basically barely ever going over the halfway line. Look at Newcastle. That's what kind of like Palace do. Look at certain teams that do that. You have to have creative players that can, break that down and handle it in different ways. And then if you're playing some of the top clubs like Manchester City, away at the Etihad, or you're playing Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, sometimes you have to think more defensively and not get blown out. So you have to be able to play players that are more defensive minded. We might be playing more counter-attacking. So the same 11 players cannot do 2 completely different things when it comes to formation, when it comes to tactics, when it comes to game management. And then if you go to your bench and if you go deeper in your squad, the quality of player cannot be like this. Okay, you come out Richarlison, and in comes Wally. Or on a bigger thing, okay, Richarlison, you go out. Hey, Kevin Morales, you come in. Or Lookman last season. That's not how it works. Okay? And it could be multiple players in multiple positions. So let's just say this, for example. Okay, so we've got a front 4, let's just say. The 10 midfielder and the 3 forwards. You've got Bernard, you've got Richarlison, you've got Ken, you've got Sigurdsson. Okay, so Sigurdsson's having a stinker. Sigurdsson is just not having the biggest and greatest time. Our only real option was to, come in here, Tom Davis. You can play around here now. Play around a little. And that's what we're going to do. Or we'll move, who can do that? Maybe Richarlison? No. Here's what we do. Ken, Siggy, Richie, Bernard. Okay, Bernard, you go to number 10. Okay, Alex Iwobi, you come in over here. You can play on the left-hand side. Sigurdsson, you're out. Richarlison, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, and so it goes through the team. Right? What is wrong with having 16 to 17 players, squad players? They're all squad players. Unless you're just looking at Pickford, Keane. Those are probably the only 2 players. Like Luca Dean, I'd say, is guaranteed on the team sheet every week. But other than that, you have to have players that can rotate. Like I said, due to injury, due to suspension, due to exhaustion, due to poor performances. You have to have players that can do that. So most of the players that we've brought in have been designed by Marcel, by Silva, because we don't see the big picture. We don't see that, hey, he might have, when we're playing X, Y, and Z team, this is probably what my starting 11 is going to be, depending on if it's home or away, right? And then you have, if we're playing the top 6 team, or if we've got, this big clump of games where we play a lot of the top teams in one go, these 2 parts of the cycle, like we do in December and then March and February, you're going to need peak performance from all 11 players at all times. So if you think that you can put the same team out against Liverpool, Man City, Manchester United, Tottenham, for example, 4 games like that, 4 games in a row, not, Tottenham, Burnley, Manchester United, Bournemouth, the Brighton, it's not, we've got tough fixtures all in a row, home and away, over difficult periods. We're going to have cup games, and we need to have good cup runs this season. We can't do what we did against Southampton, and we sure as cannot do what we did against Millwall last year. Okay? If we had more squad depth, if we had better rotation where the quality drop-off was not so huge, we would have got farther in those cup competitions. I guarantee it. Some naivete on the behalf of Marco Silva, obviously, but it's his first season. And then again, don't forget, it's only the second season of our rebuild. We're already 2 years behind. Koeman and Gravy Train, they ballsed it up for us. Walsh ballsed it up for us. Maybe that was a little short-sighted from Farad to put his hand so deep in his pocket for so long. But the money came in, we started splooging, bam, in comes Sandro, bam, in comes Davy Klassen, bam, in comes, I guess, Wayne Rooney, bam, in comes Sigurdsson, that's a good one. Pickford, bam, but that's a good one. You know, so it's hit or miss. Then we buy all these players in all these different positions, bam, in comes Nikola Vlasic, bam, bam. And then we're left with what we have now, trying to get rid of most of them. Most of them are out the door. Most of them might be by the end of the window, by the end of the European transfer window, obviously. But, you know, people getting just super, super angry about it. And I wanted to read you something I found. Okay, sorry for the abrupt cutoff right there. I did want to show you something. However, I realized that the video was carrying on quite a long time after I got done expressing what I was about to read you. So that's going to be in another video I'm going to put out right after I've uploaded this one. So probably both of them are out by the time you've watched this. But I do appreciate you watching. Please stay tuned. Be riveted for the next video. It's just basically me reading something off of Reddit that I saw earlier, and I just get super hyped and super passionate about it. But if this is the only video you watch today, I appreciate it. Thank you. New people watching, thank you. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, turn on your notifications. Watch along this weekend. Like I said, should be around 2 p.m. British Standard Time. Yes, that's 8 a.m. Here in the States. I'll probably already watch the early game. I might even be on for that if anyone wants to stick around, come in early and watch that with me. I'll be on YouTube most of the day, be watching every single game, talking, chatting, you know, trying to get the view count, subscriber count up. But as always, thank you for watching, and part 2 of this video, but have a different title, but it's just basically going to be me ranting about something. So thank you, everybody. See you in the comments. Don't forget to comment, and we'll converse later. Thank you very much.